Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
The retractable roof closed this natural grass field. The Rams won the toss. They want the football, so the Texans will be kicking off. Let's head down to the field and Jennifer Hale. Jennifer?
Well, Chris, Matt Schaub says this past 3-week stretch has been the toughest in his pro career. If you're wondering the mood of the locker room, I spoke with the other Chris Myers pregame, and he's passionate about the fact this team is fully behind Schaub. The veterans have been proving it all week, and Reed pulled Schaub aside earlier this week and told him, think back at what the Ravens and Flacco went through last season. Sometimes you have to suffer to reach your goals, but if you don't waver, you'll triumph. Chris?
Thanks, Jen. Matt Schaub curious about the environment, the response he'll get when he takes the field, but the Rams will be on offense first. The Rams had a 3-game losing skid of their own after winning the opener, and then, of course, winning last week, putting up their best point total of the season over Jacksonville. Both teams with a record of 2-3. Randy Bullock ready to kick off, and week 6 underway in Houston. Rookie Benny Cunningham inside the 5 has it for the Rams and is working his way up across the 30 near the 34-yard line, and that's where Sam Bradford will lead the Rams, and we'll see a lot of 2 and 3 tight end formations, something that you talked about that worked effectively for them. And the rookie running back, who's Zach Stacy, the rookie from Vanderbilt, we'll find out today.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the Rams targeted him and visited him in the draft process. Went down to Vanderbilt. They're happy they have him. The offensive line loved those 36 running calls last week against Jacksonville.
From the 33-yard line after a 30-yard return. Stacy trying to find a hole and can't find one. Antonio Smith on the stop, part of that 3-man front. And you talked about J.J. Watt and Brian Cushing in this Texan defense, statistically ranked #1 overall in the NFL, first against the pass, way down there, 27th against the run.
And they had a lot of trouble with the 49ers, and it was the defensive line, in particular the linebackers, last week against San Francisco. They're going to see a steady dose of that run game here today against the Rams.
That's Kendricks, the tight end, in motion. Zach Stacy gets it and is held back from the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and long, exactly what Sam Bradford wanted to avoid.
Zach Stacy's got to hit it. I mean, there was a hole there if he wanted it, and Houston is sitting with a 2-deep shell, which means they have their safeties back. It was an 8-man running attack. 7 blockers and a runner. They only had 7 guys up in the box. Stacy got to the line of scrimmage, and then he started going sideways. That's not what this guy's all about. He should be, thought process, Chris, north and south. Think 4 yards. You'd be surprised how much you can get.
On 3rd and 8, here comes a yellow flag. Bill Levy, a referee, a retired San Jose policeman and firefighter, veteran official.
Encroachment, number 99 defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
J.J. Watt, the nose already bleeding. It was 2 weeks ago when the country saw that bloody nose against Seattle. He said, it makes me feel like a real football player, and it'll bleed every week.
And gets it stitched up every Sunday. 6 new stitches into it today. It's already broke loose.
3rd and 3 from the 40 changes things for Bradford. Chris Gibbons, the speed guy, down at the bottom of your screen. Slips, throws, incomplete for Gibbons. J.J. Watt put the pressure on. It's 4th down.
It's the down and distance they wanted, but good surge off the line of scrimmage. And watch as Bradford goes to step up. Good pressure from Brooks Reed to the outside. And as soon as Sam Bradford tried to step up, he slipped. And then old number 99, J.J. Watt, right in his face.
Shiloh Ko back to receive Johnny Hecker's punt. Fair catch waved for. Keyshawn Martin has been battling some injuries. Here comes Matt Schaub back home in Houston after a disastrous weekend up in San Francisco.
Yeah, not a huge reaction here with the boos. Look, if you're Matt Schaub, the only way to do it, especially here in Texas, Chris, get back on that horse, dig your spurs in, and make some plays. I'm curious to see what their play calling looks like today. This is a good matchup for them on paper against this Rams defense.
From the 13-yard line on 1st and 10. Arian Foster has room. Across the 31-yard line is Arian Foster before Trumaine Johnson ran him down. An 18-yard run. That's his longest run of the season.
And there's the key block. Watch Chris Myers hook the nose tackle, Kendall Langford, right there. And you go back and you look at the Dallas game, the 49er game for these St. Louis Rams, and just hammered on the ground. The defensive tackles didn't show up. Nice block there by Chris Myers.
Foster again, this time maybe a yard or two. And Matt Schaub with this offense, it's ranked in the top 10, Tim. You know, Garrett Graham is in at tight end for the injured Owen Daniels, but it's the giveaways that have hurt this offensive unit. They've piled up yardage.
Well, no doubt. And how about all the points, 28 of them off those takeaways in terms of pick sixes that have come back. The offensive line intact. Brandon Brooks at right guard back in the lineup today. Out last week with a toe injury.
On 2nd down, 8. They hand off again to Foster. And he's got another first down up near the 44-yard line. Again, it was Trumaine Johnson, the secondary, having to make tackles. He came in averaging 4 yards a carry. He picked up 10 on that one.
Great vision by Arian Foster. Seeing that hole up inside. The cutback run game should really work. I mean, you look at Houston, you think of all the outside stretch plays, they call it. Well, St. Louis plays so wide with their defensive ends. A lot of those runs are going to get turned back inside.
Foster and the Rams nail him for a loss. Eugene Sims coming in. Robert Quinn, when you look at the Ram front four, he has 5 sacks to lead that defense. And rookie linebacker Alec Ogletree has played well, leading the team in tackles, usually a place James Laurinaitis dominates.
That's right. Ogletree has played well. Chris Long found his groove last week. Those defensive tackles are really the key. And then Jolon Dunbar back in action last week after a 4-game suspension. Looked a little rusty. He's a big part of this defense. And then here's the problem area. All the youth and all the health issues on the back end with the secondary.
After a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Schaub's pass attempt goes low and incomplete. He just wanted to get rid of it. It'll bring up 3rd down and 12. Matt Schaub comes in completing 64% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, the 9 interceptions, but again, those 9, and he's probably the most scrutinized quarterback around the league, although other guys, Eli Manning, having problems with interceptions and winning games.
There's been a few guys that have had issues, and most quarterbacks, Chris, when you get to that 3rd and 12, have a lot of issues. That's been a big problem for them this year, trying to convert on the 3rd and long.
Andre Johnson battling injuries starting today. Foster the back. From the pocket, Schaub having to move around. There's a flag down. Foster short of the first down.
And then again, I mean, self-destruction, a 3rd down penalty.
Personal foul, face mask, number 76, offense, 15-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And that's Dwayne Brown out at left tackle trying to block Robert Quinn. There's a matchup we're going to watch all day. Should be a good one. Dwayne Brown, you can get your hands to the face as an offensive lineman, but you got to pull them off right away and kind of reposition those hands. He grabbed the mask and never let go.
Part of what you talked about in the open of Schaub needing some help, needing some support, that certainly digs a deeper hole now on 3rd and 27.
Yeah, now you're playing the field position game, and you just obviously 3rd and 27 going to end up punting. Kubiak, he gets it. I mean, he understands these critical penalties at critical times has hurt him all year.
He scripts the first 15 plays, and I don't think that one was in the script. I don't know what he has in for this script, except giving it to the guy who's been running well, and Foster gets it back to the 30. Ogletree chases him out of bounds, and it'll be 4th down, and the fans frustrated as Shane Leckler is averaging 48 yards of punt. Comes in after Schaub of the offense misfires. Had the ball moving on the ground, but penalties, and of course the Ram defense tightening up a bit. Tavon Austin, the rookie, back to receivers. Had some big returns called back by penalty. In fact, Jeff Fisher gave him a game ball on the side just to say this is for the yards you would have had there not been penalties on special teams. He's waving everybody away. And it rolls in favor of the Rams near the 35-yard line. They'll have pretty good field position. The Rams on their second possession. We are scoreless in Houston.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Jeff Fisher, whose head coaching career began in Houston when he took over the Oilers, made the transition as they moved to Tennessee. His first visit back as a head coach of the Rams. From the 35, first down, Zach Stacy, the rookie running back, is in. And the pass from Bradford incomplete for Lance Kendricks.
Well, Lance Kendricks has really developed over the last couple of years and was hurt this summer. Has got 2 touchdowns in the last 2 years. But I'm telling you, the explosive tight end is his teammate Jared Cook, who they got in free agency from Tennessee. Jared Cook with a huge opener against Arizona. Been relatively quiet since. But I know in talking to the guys yesterday, they love his matchup in this game. They'll get him isolated on Daniel Manning more than once.
On 2nd and 10, Kendricks is dancing around. Bradford sets to throw. Deep on the sideline and incomplete for Brian Quick.
Here comes the flag.
Here comes a flag.
You got to test Kareem Jackson with the deep ball in terms of the pass interference. The opportunity to get it. And it looked like he just had a little contact just as Brian Quick was trying to burst to the football.
Also a flag that was picked up back.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 94 defense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, number 25 defense. That penalty is accepted. First down.
Antonio Smith on the late hit.
Yeah, this is the decline call. 94, Antonio Smith pushing Harvey Dahl into the quarterback. Hits Sam Bradford in the head. That's going to be called every time. And then here's the pass interference. And they're just going to get him with an arm bar, putting his arm out and holding the arm of Brian Quick, not letting it come up. That is a ticky-tack call.
Yeah, they showed it here, and obviously the fans not happy with a 40-yard penalty. So the Rams are set up at the 25 of Houston. And Kendricks in motion again. Zach Stacy trying to slip tackles and just fights to get back to the line of scrimmage. Kareem Jackson had that penalty 2 weeks ago against the Seattle Seahawks. An overtime loss, part of the 3-game skid for
he's had some big ones now. How about the Baltimore game? I think he had a couple, one in the end zone. As much man coverage as they play, you got to test those guys out on the perimeter. Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator. Jonathan Joseph, the other corner, is the best cover guy for the Texans. Austin Pettis, top of your screen. He's become Bradford's favorite receiver. They go to Givens, who's got a blocker, and Givens has a first down. Near the 11-yard line, Daniel Manning ran him down. You love all these rush beaters, and it's the draw game, it's the screen game, it's the quick perimeter game. And one thing, when you throw it outside, you got to get some good blocks for your weapon out there. And watch the block here, Brian Quick, 83 on the slot. Then they end up getting a really nice block on McCain. Jake Long leads the way, and Givens puts him in the red zone. First down and 10 at the 12. Zach Stacy gets down inside the 6-yard line. One of Sam Bradford's favorite targets, we mentioned Austin Pettis. Pettis, 7 of his 8 career touchdowns have come in the red zone, and in the red zone area is where the Rams worked hard during the offseason to improve their offense, and they have. Man, and Jake Long loves run blocking. You see that double team just taking Antonio Smith all the way down the line of scrimmage. They'll take 5 or 6 yards to run. The Rams do not have a rushing touchdown this year, the only NFL team who does not. Watch this guy, Austin Pettis, down here. On 2nd and 4, Zach Stacy working his way inside the 3-yard line. Ed Reed coming up, the 9-time Pro Bowler, and he does have a first down. Some tough running, and it's 1st and goal Rams.
Substitutions made on both sides of the ball. A heavy tight end formation helping the running game.
Well, and Sam Bradford said it was confusing. He said, we came out of training camp and we thought we were one way, a full-blown spread you out, up-tempo offense. And now we've realized we're not that. We need to get back to running the ball. They did it last week.
4 tight ends for the Rams on 1st and goal from the 2. Bradford rolling, throwing, touchdown Rams. Corey Harkey, the 4th tight end. Harkey in his 2nd year from UCLA, in for his blocking most of the time, and the Texans caught off guard.
A couple of nice runs, and now all of a sudden you got linebackers that are playing the run game. Joe Mays right here bit big time on the run. Harkey's going to leak out and be wide open. Look at Joe Mays go inside. Now he knows, uh-oh. And Sam Bradford made the layup. That's something that's really been bothering him. Those easy ones, those gimmies, if you will. Sam hasn't made a lot of those. He made that one look easy.
For Harkey, his 1st career touchdown, the extra point for Greg Zuerlein, and the Rams on their 2nd possession with the aid of a 40-yard penalty reached the end zone as Sam Bradford tosses his 11th touchdown pass of the season.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Corey Harkey, his father Mike Harkey, is the bullpen coach for the New York Yankees. His father, a major league pitcher and a pretty good one in his day. Proud of his son, and the St. Louis Rams are proud of the St. Louis Cardinals, watching them in the postseason. As Zuerlein kicks off and the Rams with a 7-0 lead. Daniel Manning bobbles it and is going to have to bring it out. He had to work hard after bobbling the football to get out to the 11-yard line. Again, Keyshawn Martin, who has been bothered by a shoulder injury, not back to return on punts and kickoffs, and it cost Schaub and the Texans field position.
And they desperately need a 3rd wide receiver to step up, period. Daniel Manning had no choice. Once he picked that up and stepped on the line, he's got to run it out.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. By Wells Fargo. On your phone, online, on the go. Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done. And by Walmart. Save money, live better, Walmart.
Tim Ryan, Jennifer Hale, Chris Myers. We welcome you back here in Texas. 1st down from the 12-yard line for the Texans. Schaub has it. And he's brought down across the 11-yard line by Michael Brockers, the Houston-born member of the Rams. The offense for the Texans, 2 of the last 3 games, Tim, they have no touchdowns.
Well, and obviously the interceptions that have come back for touchdowns. And it's not all Matt Schaub. I looked at every single one of his picks this year. And obviously the play calling's a bit predictable. Now he's the guy, and his feet are slow and the release is slow and not a lot of velocity on the ball. But receivers have not helped him out one bit in trying to come back and attack the football. It's been a problem that's gone around this whole offense, not just Schaub.
Schaub throwing, middle of the field. He's got DeAndre Hopkins, who has a 1st down up through the 33-yard line. Remember, the Rams playing without the veteran corner, Cortland Finnegan, so young secondary players for the Rams.
And comes out of a tight split. DeAndre Hopkins just going to go to the middle of the field, and there's nobody there. See Laurinaitis flying out to play the flat. They got to get DeAndre Hopkins more involved. I mean, he's already proven, Chris, he can take games over. Not enough balls thrown his way over the last couple games.
23rd catch of the season, a 22-yard gain. Schaub going to throw again and has time. Open is Greg Jones. It's out of bounds around the 37. Let's get a game break. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
Nick Foles getting the start for the injured Michael Vick for the Eagles, looking like Vick. Quarterback draw takes it in for the score, 7-3. Eagles lead Tampa Bay. That's another one of those Texas quarterbacks there, Tim and Chris.
Thanks, Kurt. Yeah, and the Buccaneers winless, trying to get their first victory of the year. Don't forget the undefeated Saints playing in New England later today. Back into the doubleheader on Fox. From the 37 on 2nd down, it's Foster. Throwing out and gets to the 41. Here comes his flag. late on the play.
I don't know if they're going to call Garrett Graham on the hold here, but he definitely held William Hayes getting out on the edge. Right there as he tries to reach him to set the edge.
Holding, number 75 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
So he held him there, and then you see Big Newton holding Darian Stewart, so a double whammy, which brings it back.
Derek Newton called for the infraction. Remember, it was a penalty that stalled the first drive for the Texans when they were running well with Arian Foster. 3 penalties for 60 yards. Also, that pass interference penalty helped the Rams offense get in position to score the touchdown. Ben Tate checks in at running back. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. But he's had a fumbling problem, losing a fumble in each of the last 2 games. He splits out as a receiver. Schaub goes to Tate, who lunges forward near the 39-yard line. There's a flag again coming in late.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to get Cudjoe for jumping on the pile late here, with the receiver already laying on the ground, or the running back, Ben Tate.
After the runner was down, personal foul, number 93 defense.
Cujo
putting the runner on the ground, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And this has been a point of emphasis, I mean, for years. And once the player's on the ground, Cujo cannot come in and put an elbow to the face mask. They put that under the classification of the cheap shot, and they're not letting it happen.
15-yard penalty after the 9-yard catch, so a gain of 24. They're at the 46 of the Rams.
With all this run, you're going to see one-on-one coverage out on the edges.
Ben Tate carries, and the Rams with an excellent job again. Michael Brockers making the tackle. You know, you've talked about what Matt Schaub has to do, and for all the good he's done for this organization, even the best of quarterbacks can have a bad 5-game stretch, and really it's been the last 3 for Schaub, but a 2-3 record. Look at, these are all
these guys are all they're all going to the Hall of Fame, all 3 of them, in my opinion.
And at least the rating for Schaub, when you compare the numbers, they've had a bad stretch in their career. Any quarterback you can go to who has led a team into the playoffs, and Schaub saying, I know what I have to do. Only he knows if his confidence is shattered.
More patience with those guys, great players who already had Super Bowl rings.
Schaub completes. Andre Johnson, some tough running to pick up a first down inside the 30 of the Rams. 107 consecutive games, adding to his team record.
Well, they're beat at the pre-snap, the St. Louis Rams. They send pressure off of here. You see right there, Janoris Jenkins. Now they've lost all the leverage on the crossing route for Andre Johnson. Andre's putting up great numbers. He's still getting it done. He's been nicked up all season long with some injuries, the shin being the latest over the last couple of weeks. But, Chris, he just doesn't get in the end zone anymore. That's got to change for Andre Johnson in this Texan offense.
Does not have a touchdown catch this year. Schaub looks like he's found a rhythm and completes. That's Hopkins down. No signal from the official that he lost the football, and the Rams have it. Running the other way is James Laurinaitis. The ruling on the field is catch, fumble, Ram recovery, and first down St. Louis.
Boy, it sure looked like that ball came out. Trumaine Johnson, as Keyshawn Martin's going down. Watch Trumaine Johnson, 22,
Hopkins,
rip at it. DeAndre Hopkins. That's a fumble.
And the Rams have it in Houston territory. DeAndre Hopkins' first fumble as a pro. Laurinaitis returning at 43 yards, and first down for the Rams. Zach Stacy carries straight ahead. Some tough running, looking a little like Ray Rice, working his way down to the 35-yard line. That's now 12 giveaways, 12 turnovers for the Texans. They came in with the tie for the 3rd worst in the league.
16 games, only 17 of them last year, and it's been the most critical areas, Chris, on the field. I mean, throw another log on the old miscues fire, if you will. That one happened on the 14-yard line. DeAndre Hopkins coughing it up.
On second down 3, the rookie Tavon Austin in motion for the Rams. He has the football. Puts a move on, but not enough to get away from Kareem Jackson. Is it enough for the first down? They traded up to get him. A top 10 pick, the rookie from West Virginia, who's only 5'8", but can be a game changer if you get him the football.
He is quick as a hiccup, and you see there leading all rookies in catches. This is the one that's surprising, though, 6.8 average. not good enough. He really hasn't broken loose yet. You talked about him as a punt returner. Had some big returns that were called back. This guy is wicked quick coming out of the slot receiver position.
It is a first down from the 33-yard line.
Here we go. There's the matchup they want today.
Zach Stacy carries. Gets down near the 35th round draft choice from Vanderbilt, who has become the starting running back for this Ram team, ahead of Darrell Richardson, who should see some action today, and Isaiah Peed, who was a second-round draft pick last year. So the Rams survive the Texans moving the football with a fumble recovery. The Bradford touchdown pass has St. Louis leading after one quarter in Houston by the score of 7-0. You're watching the NFL on Fox. Week 6 here in Houston. Texans and Rams each with a record of 2-3. On second down 8, the Rams the lead in the football from the 31 of Houston. Bradford from the pocket, underneath and completes. Chris Gibbons goes out of bounds near the first down marker. First quarter numbers, obviously the turnover big, but Matt Schaub certainly has done his part, completing 5 out of 6 passes.
Yeah, this has been the killer right there. The 4 penalties, one big hold on third down, or excuse me, the face mask by Dwayne Brown, and then the turnover. Schaub so far, and not a lot of throws in this game, Chris, when you look at his numbers, he is 5 of 6, but I like the fact that he's letting it go. You know, he's not playing safe. He's playing the game. He's made some nice throws.
Rams will be penalized.
False start. Number 65, offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Said Chris Williams. It was 3rd and 1, and now 3rd and 6. So you're backing up Bradford in that range. The Texans, by the way, have the best defense when it's 3rd and 4 or less. Ryan Schottenheimer sending it in to Bradford. But where's J.J. Watt going to line up? Where's he going to end up?
Well, here's where he lines up. He wants to end up right there.
Keep it simple. I appreciate that. Quick pass with the pressure on to Zach Stacy, who lunges toward the first down marker. Ooh, it was rookie on rookie as DJ Swearinger was trying to keep him from getting the first down.
And I wonder about this spot. Jeff Fisher, I don't even think is going to look at it, but watches Zach Stacy, and it's about the ball where it is when the knee comes down, and the knee was down before the ball crossed the line of gain, for sure.
He's only 5'8", so when he stretches that knee, it shortens things, and that's why Greg Zuerlein is on to try the field goal of 42 yards. He has not missed this year, 8 of 8. Tack on 3 more. And early here in the second quarter, Jeff Fisher and the Rams on the road with a 10-0 lead over the Texans. Tonight, Game 2 of the American League Championship Series from Fenway Park. David Ortiz and the Red Sox try to avoid going down 2-0. They face, of course, Cabrera and the Tigers. Max Scherzer pitching Game 2. You'll see it tonight on Fox after football. The fans were tense and anxious at Fenway Park last night. 2 1-0 games in the League Championship Series. And, of course, Clay Buchholz will try to get the Red Sox even against 21-game winner Max Scherzer. Zuerlein with a 10-0 advantage for Daniel Manning, who had some big returns when he was in Chicago, but watches this sail through for a touchback. Texans will take over at the 20-yard line, trailing at home here, 10-0.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by KFC, the official sponsor of Couchgating. KFC plus football equals Couchgating.
First down from the 20, Matt Schaub, 5 out of 6. He does not have injured tight end Owen Daniels. Has not attempted to throw the ball to his tight end Garrett Graham so far. The pitch to Foster. And Foster works his way across the 30 for a first down. A 12-yard run from Arian Foster.
You run all of these edge plays. Watch the crack block. DeAndre Hopkins going to come flying into your screen right here on Alec Ogletree. I mean, he never disengages. That was absolutely the key block. Number 10 there, the rookie, blocking a linebacker. That's not supposed to happen.
Foster said, we feel like we can run on anybody. And when you talk to him, he still carries a bit of an edge to him. Undrafted free agent, Pro Bowler, 1,000-yard rusher. Schaub airing it out and right on target to Hopkins. The rookie hangs on at the 45 for a first down.
Boy, look at the huge cushion in terms of the zone. DeAndre Hopkins sees it, breaks his route off, just sits down in the zone. Love the fact that Matt Schaub and Gary Kubiak are dialing up number 10's number quite a bit here today early in this game.
Hopkins goes to the bottom of your screen. Already 3 catches in the game. Foster cuts the other way. There's a lot of room for Arian Foster. He could not slip the tackle of Rodney McLeod or he'd be in the end zone by now.
Boy, they just guess out on the edge. You're going to get this guy blocked, Ogletree, and then watch the other defender come flying from the outside up the field with his eyes closed. Darian Stewart, he never sees it. And there is just a huge cutback running lane for Arian Foster. Chris, his numbers are going up by the week now.
Yeah,
a couple of fat explosion runs.
23-yard run. He's had the 2 longest runs of the season so far in this first half. And he has it again. Foster all the way inside the 10-yard line of the Rams.
Well, his vision is ridiculous. Let's give some offensive linemen credit up front. I talked about those defensive tackles needing to make plays. Watch Langford. He can't ever get off the block, and then you're going to see the cutback lane right there. I mean, all day for Arian Foster.
A 22-yard gain. He already has 93 rushing yards. And first and goal from the 10. Foster cuts back again. Inside the 5-yard line. Chris Long made the tackle. Foster has 1 rushing touchdown this year.
And watch how this is going to have an effect and a huge supplement for Matt Schaub in terms of all the play action stuff that is going to follow suit for the rest of this game because they've been able to run the ball so well here early.
Look at that number for Foster, a guy who said first his goal was to prove himself right and everybody wrong, and now he wants to chase history in the NFL. 5,000 rushing yards in his career. A long way from a free agent. From the 5, Ben Tate checks in at second and goal.
Watch the tight ends down here.
It is Ben Tate. Maybe a yard. It'll bring up third down. Eugene Sims in on the tackle. You wonder why the running game is working, but certainly Schaub, who is so effective at faking the run and getting the ball to his tight end in this situation when he has Owen Daniels. I mean, Garrett Graham has touchdown catches, 3 this year, as Foster checks back in. On 3rd and 4. Keyshawn Martin is in, top of your screen.
Time to get this guy dialed up. Come on, Andre.
And we got a whistle and a flag.
Another 3rd down penalty.
Start. Number 75 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that's another one on Derek Newton, the right tackle. And it just makes things more difficult for Matt Schaub and the play call of Gary Kubiak of what to go with here. Now they're backed up at the 9-yard line on 3rd and goal. DeAndre Hopkins, top of your screen. Andre Johnson, bottom of your screen. In motion is Foster. On 3rd down. Schaub has time, has room. And at the 2-yard line, it's caught by Martin. He's pushed out of bounds, so it'll be 4th down.
Schaub to Eugene Sims. Like a little bulldog grabbing that leg, not letting it go. William Hayes, excuse me.
Oh, the fans don't like this going for the field goal here. Maybe Schaub taking out some of his frustration on the Ram defense.
Schaub just gets hit, pushed down by Hayes. Hayes falls on him. Now he's going to stand up. Watch Matt Schaub grab his leg and hang on.
and Hayes is like 280 pounds at 6'4" as the 20-yard field goal by Randy Bullock, and that's been an adventure. But he delivers here, so the Texans are on the board. And now meet your Fox Tuesday night starting lineup.
Seth Green, Daz, yeah! Jake Johnson, New Girl. Ike Barinholtz, the male nurse on The Mindy Project. Yeah. Terry Crews, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All new comedy starting Tuesday, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. And Arian Foster, 98 rushing yards on 10 carries. Understandable why he's reaching for the oxygen. I think Schaub might need something to calm his nerves after that last drive.
The first time we've seen Matt Schaub really frustrated as he went after William Hayes. This is the healthiest Arian Foster has been. We all know he had the calf and the back injury through training camp, dealing with a bit of a chest and a thumb injury. His legs are healthy, Chris, and it shows.
Benny Cunningham back to receive, and touchback. Ram offense takes over at the 20-yard line. The Texans are trailing, but fighting hard to rally against the Rams.
This game is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and Galaxy Gear.
We welcome you back. Sam Bradford with the 1st and 10, and Darrell Richardson checks in at running back, the second-year back, replacing Zach Stacy. Bradford to throw for Chris Gibbons off his fingertips. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Rams came in averaging only 3 yards a carry on the ground and want to go deep when they have an opportunity. The ground game helps set that up.
And you got to make this play if you're Chris Gibbons. It's out there in front of his fingertips. Certainly he could have stretched his arms out a little bit more, it looked like, and corralled that. That's something that's been missing from this offense. I like the fact in this game they've already taken 2 deep shots, missed an opportunity there, and then the first one they forced a pass interference on Kareem Jackson out on the sideline.
Looks like we're going to have to get the Rams are going to have to use a timeout. There was some confusion here on getting enough guys into the huddle, or at least the right players into the huddle. Jeff Fisher trying to calm his team. The Rams remain the youngest team in the NFL, just over the average age of 25. They came in wanting to run the football. They have a 10-3 lead, but their defense held up and, of course, benefiting from penalties.
Well, the big one, obviously, the penalty on Dwayne Brown for grabbing the face mask of Robert Quinn on a 3rd down, which was a nice gain. And then Trumaine Johnson, who's played well, he's out there starting in the lineup for Cortland Finnegan. He knocked the ball out from DeAndre Hopkins. Laurinaitis brings it all the way back. They've made some key plays at key times. They have got moved on when you look at the total yards for Houston.
Sam Bradford sat with us and said, we're our identity, we're shaping it, we're still finding it. We've talked about it. They strike the big play, they've tried to run, but they just don't seem consistent as an offense. Darrell Richardson on 2nd down. He may lose a half a yard. Antonio Smith pushing him back. Rams just 21 yards rushing in the game.
Yeah, they got to stick with some run game, though, especially being up here in this game. You look at their 2 games against Dallas and against San Francisco, and Sam Bradford told us point blank. He said, we got one-dimensional in that game, and he goes, it was almost hopeless. Like, we knew it was almost hopeless, so did the opponent. They got to have balance running the ball.
On 3rd and 10. The screen set up to Richardson. He's got a 1st down. All the way up to the 37-yard line. And a big 3rd down gain. Sam Bradford to Richardson, a pickup of 18 yards.
And a good game plan being called here from Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator. And all these perimeter screens, running back screens, getting the ball out quick, forcing all these defensive linemen to rush and then turn and run to the ball. Brian Cushing has this one played well. about a half a step short as he had to run around Scott Wells and could not catch up to Richardson.
Spotted at the 38 on first down. Richardson gets up across the 43-yard line. Let's check in with Joel Klatt for a game break. Joel?
All right, thank you, Chris. And we go to Buffalo, Cincinnati. Andy Dalton shovels it to Giovanni Bernard. Nifty moves and finds the end zone for the 20-yard TD catch. And Cincinnati up 17-7, Chris.
The Bengals, many figure a playoff team. The Texans, of course, coming into the season figured as much, trying to end a 3-game losing skid. There's the way things look in the AFC North for Cincinnati. And we have a flag here on 2nd and 6.
Encroachment, number 97 defense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Terrell McClain called for the penalty, so it'll make it easier for Jeff Fisher and his offense.
There is no excuse for that as a defensive lineman in your home building to be encroaching and jumping off sides.
Now it's 2nd down 1. It's a playful down for Bradford. He's got Brian Quick down at the bottom of your screen. The big angular receiver, Pettis up at the top. Zach Stacy back in at running back. He gets the football, and he gets the first down to the 45 before Ed Reed in Texan territory brings him down.
Boy, a shifty little move for Zach Stacy up inside on Joe Mays. Joe Mays, 53. Watch him get downhill to fill this hole. And watch Zach Stacy see it, and whoop, right there, slips right by him, right up the gut. That's the one thing that really stood out in watching Zach Stacy on tape. That was a good cut. He is low to the ground, 220 pounds, runs hard between the tackles.
His second NFL start today. Last week he ran for 78 yards in his first ever start. Bradford on the run. Chasing him from behind was Whitney Merciless.
Yeah, they're getting
here comes the flag.
It's going on Brian Cushing. I'm pretty sure Sam Bradford had already started his slide feet first. Chris, once you do that, if the defender hasn't already laid out to make the tackle, he cannot hit the guy.
Already 6 penalties for the Texans.
After the runner was down, personal foul, late hit, number 56. Defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And again, as the rule reads, once he starts his slide right there, it's hard to see Cushing, but as he comes in, he had clearly had not started the tackling process. It just goes down and hits Sam Bradford. That's off limits.
3-year defensive captain who leads the team in tackles. He's upset about that mistake. 95 yards in penalties already against this Texan team. And now from the 26, a fresh set of downs for the Rams. 3 tight ends in. Zach Stacy, the carry, squirts through. That has a first down for the Rams. Still going inside the 8-yard line.
What do you tackle if you're Darryl Sharpton? Because it's knee pads and shoulder pads coming at you with Zach Stacy with that low profile. And he's going to come right into your screen there. Watch Sharpton. I mean, you just can't grab him. Good block there by Jake Long, but love Zach Stacy's tough running on the inside, right at those inside linebackers.
An 18-yard run. He catches a break. Daryl Richardson in on 1st and goal from the 8.
Watch out for Pettis here coming in motion. They love him in this spot of the field.
Richardson runs into a wall. And the Texans' red zone defense has not been very good.
It's been awful. I mean, there's 32 teams in pro football. They came in here ranked 30th in keeping people out of the end zone in terms of scoring TDs. 73%. Far too many.
Sam Bradford 6 out of 9. He has the touchdown pass. Zach Stacy comes back in on 2nd and goal from the 7-yard line. Stacy looking for his first professional touchdown. Zach Stacy barreling forward. Takes a gang of tacklers to stop the 5'8", 220-pounder who really didn't play football until his freshman year in high school. He's a baseball player.
Yep. It was fun talking to him yesterday, wasn't it? Smart guy.
He stressed two things very humbly: to be consistent and be productive. And since they've thrown him in the starting lineup, he only had one carry before last week as a pro. He has done both of those.
And weird watching these guys with that Steven Jackson era being over, right?
They do miss him. On third and goal from the 2.
So great for so long.
Wide open, touchdown, Lance Kendricks. Sam Bradford's second touchdown toss of the game and his second to the tight end position. It's a 16-3 Ram advantage.
Told you about Kendrick's development, and that's 3 touchdowns now in the last 3 games. He is starting to become a big part of the game plan. And really good at selling it, and I'll tell you why. Because number 1, he's a good blocker. Number 2, they've been able to run the ball with some success. And he just lined up like he was run blocking and then squirted out the backside wide open.
An 80-yard drive, over 5.5 minutes. 10 plays as Greg Zuerlein adds the extra point. And the Rams with a 14-point advantage over the struggling Texans. Sam Bradford with his second touchdown toss of the day. Lance Kendricks smiling because he has the touchdown catch. Zach Stacy and Darrell Richardson helping to run the football 7 times compared to 3 tosses.
I think they found their identity. This is the same game plan they had last week against Jacksonville, where they're just lining up with those heavy tight ends, a fullback, and they are just mashing it at the line of scrimmage.
Rams trying to get to 3-3, just like the Texans. Daniel Manning back to return and from Greg Zuerlein. Touchback once again, 20-yard line.
Now, Matt Schaub coming into this game with the 9 picks, 4 in a row that went back for touchdowns. It's a lot more than just Matt Schaub, as you see here. Look at Owen Daniels just waiting on the football. No receivers going to attack it when it's in the air. Same thing with Calvin Johnson right there as Jermaine Brock jumped that route. Here's a bad route. Schaub's throwing it one way. DeAndre Hopkins is running the other route. Offensive predictability. Guys just sitting back, knowing what those concepts are, and going right to the football. So it's a gamut of things to why Matt Schaub is really struggling.
On first down, he's throwing, and incomplete for Hopkins. Darian Stewart covered. Stewart played every defensive snap last Sunday for the Rams. And prior to that, he had played in just 7 different plays over 4 games because of injury. But Matt Schaub's not the problem today. That fumble by DeAndre Hopkins when they were moving changed things. And the Texans, who have been behind in 4 of the 5 previous games, are behind again here. Foster has been the go-to guy on the ground with 98 rushing yards.
Already 7 penalties for 95 yards. That's been the problem.
Completes. Keyshawn Martin goes out of bounds, but short of the first down. When I asked Gary Kubiak about the tough decision, do you go with TJH, do you stick with Schaub, and he felt there was nothing physical or mechanical about what Schaub had been doing, but the decision making. And obviously he's been around enough quarterbacks over the years, guys like Steve Young and John Elway, to have a sense of where their confidence is and what they can do for their team.
I disagree. Now, I don't know him as much as I know as Coach Kubiak knows him, but the footwork has not been up to speed over the last several weeks. Slow, methodical, and a big part of it is the footwork and the ball coming out late.
On third down and 5, Andre Johnson, first down at the 40 for the Texans right at the 2-minute warning. Andre Johnson's second catch of the game. Schaub settling in now 9 of 11. And will have to rally his team before the half as the Texans trail by 14. Along with Tim Wright, Chris Myers, Jennifer Hale down on the field. Glad you're watching the NFL on Fox from Houston, where the Texans are trailing 17-3, but have a first down at the 40. And all 3 timeouts. Schaub under pressure to Arian Foster. Janoris Jenkins left at the 50. And there goes Foster. There goes Foster inside the 20.
Boy, the offensive line is really playing well for these Houston Texans today. Matt Schaub's been kept clean. They're making nice blocks for the run game. And Chris Myers, that time Chris Myers, watch him get out and lead the way on this screen and chop down that guy right there, Alec Ogletree. You got to get one guy blocked. There it is, the guy who's got the running back in man coverage. And then it's all Arian Foster after that.
Yeah, Foster is putting out a show today. 41 yards on that catch and carry. He's already run for 98. It's the longest pass play of the season. And they're set up inside the 20 of the Rams. On the move is Schaub, and he can't get away. Michael Brockers, who has 1 sack in the game, will get credit officially from that. Remember, he's from Houston. #1 pick out of LSU. And there you saw the lack of athletic ability of Matt Schaub.
Well, you said 2 weeks ago he lost 11 pounds, hoping to get faster.
Maybe if he lost 12.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough to slip away. Let's check in down on the field with Jennifer Hale.
Chris, this is a very special homecoming for Houston native Michael Brockers. He grew up in a single-parent household, the oldest of 5 siblings. He often had to skip games or practices to babysit his siblings while his mom, Tiffany, went to work. She's here today. It makes it very special for him to get to come home, perform in front of this home crowd, and do it with his mom present.
All right, Jen, and he's having a good game so far. In fact, I was surprised, Tim, the Rams, since 2010, the Rams as a team have more sacks of the quarterback than any other team in the NFL during that time.
Yeah, and usually, I mean, there were so many years, they averaged 3 wins a season. Usually the sack numbers are a big determining factor in wins and losses, not for the Rams.
On 2nd and 13, Schaub has yet to throw to the tight end.
He's got him.
Underneath, that's Arian Foster. Garrett Graham looked like he was open for a moment, and now it's going to be 3rd down.
I think Matt Schaub, leery of throwing those routes when defenders are sitting back in coverage, just waiting to drive on the football. I mean, unless he unloaded that right when he got it to Garrett Graham, it was a good decision really not to throw it to him, because the defender would have probably come up, at least got a hand on it.
On 3rd down and 8, Graham splits out wide to the top of your screen with DeAndre Hopkins. Now he's coming this way. Schaub. End zone incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins was covered by Stewart. You could see Arian Foster waving to Schaub. He was wide open on the right side of the field.
Schaub's done a nice job, though, stepping up in the pocket today and eluding some of that outside pressure. See if Darian Stewart gets his hand. He did. He grabbed the jersey right there, just a little bit of DeAndre Hopkins, and they get no call.
Could have been the flag, because certainly the flag has been thrown on the Texans enough in this game. 7 times for 95 yards. Bullock, who's 1 for 1 today, will try a 35-yard field goal. And he is on target. It's now a 17-6 game as we near the half. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee, see what he has in store for us.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll get you all caught up on all the early game action, including the Kansas City Chiefs trying to stay perfect this season, while the Steelers are looking for their first win of the year against the surprising Jets. That and more on the Visa Halftime.
Thanks, Kurt. A lot to look forward to. Penalties, fumbles have hurt the Texans. The Rams have taken advantage. And Jeff Fisher told us an interesting story after the Rams lost on Thursday night.
I love this one.
And they were blown out by the 49ers in the second half. They had a meeting. Guys had their heads down. He came in, he talked. He said he thought they were going to get chewed out. He stepped out of the room, left them there for a moment, came back and was wearing
his training camp clothes.
And he said, you know what? It's a 12-game season
Camp's
now.
over.
The league is starting.
Guys have had a good camp.
Right.
We just got a memo. They've shortened the season to 12 games. Let's go win our opener
and
against Jacksonville.
Get outside, have some fun, run around. That's what you do with a young team. Jeff Fisher has that team responding. They did last week. People said, oh, it's just Jacksonville. Well, they're on the road in Houston, and they're leading by 11. Bullock, whose 2 field goals have provided all the Texans scoring, will kick off with 49 seconds before the half. Cunningham is bringing it out. Gets out across the 24-yard line. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, Jay Onright and Dan O'Toole will have highlights and analysis from the ALCS Game 2. All the NFL highlights, plus college football rankings, the latest ones that come out, everything else that's going on in the world of sports. Fox Sports Live every night on Fox Sports 1. And if you don't have Fox Sports 1, check with your provider or go to foxsports1.com now. And we hope you watch.
Isn't life about being entertained now? You get all the highlights on Fox Sports Live and you get all the entertainment. Those jokers are funny.
On first down, Rams keep it on the ground. Texans will get the ball to start the second half. What should their approach be?
They got to clean it up. I mean, it's really that simple. The penalties have been catastrophic for this team. The big turnover down on the 14-yard line, DeAndre Hopkins coughing it up, was a big play. And then obviously the third down stuff. I mean, they're moving the ball really at will against St. Louis. They protected the quarterback pretty well in Matt Schaub, but they're 1 for 4 on third down, which has been a huge problem this season.
And Jeff Fisher wanted to get the running game going to take some pressure off Sam Bradford, and Bradford continuing the best start in his NFL career through a 5.5 game season. He's already got 12 touchdown passes to go with just 3 interceptions. Meanwhile, some boos cascading from the stadium here, not just for Schaub, but for the way the Texans have struggled in the first half. That's a story in Houston. Now let's head to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. In Houston, Jeff Fisher with an 11-point lead heading to the third quarter. He knows what's at stake. A couple of 2-3 teams, but if he wins this game, look at how his percentage increases when it comes to going to the playoffs. And on the other side of that, only 9% of you fall to 2-4. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Greg Zuerlein has delivered a field goal and a couple of extra points. Daniel Manning hoping for an electrifying return. This crowd waiting for something big to happen. They've been kept out of the end zone. You can't blame Matt Schaub. He's 11 of 14. He has not thrown an interception. Gary Kubiak has dialed up Arian Foster's number today, and he's been productive.
Yeah, and dialing the right number. Arian Foster has been outstanding. Right now, they're almost averaging about 9.5 a crack in the run game.
This kick goes out of bounds, and that'll set up the Texans with excellent field position. As we welcome you to our booth, and the Texans, a playoff team the last couple of years. It's been a while for the Rams. So I guess the questions here, Tim, in the second half, can the Ram running game hold up since they have a lead on the road? And what else can Matt Schaub do to get his team into the end zone?
Well, they're committed to the run game. I'll tell you that. I mean, they have run the ball more in the first half than they've done most of the season. I mean, they average, I think, 18 or 19 carries to the backs, already 15 carries in the run game in the first half. Can they continue to do it? I think that's up to Houston. I mean, Houston now 3 weeks in a row, it's a troubling trend. They've been hammered a little bit at the line of scrimmage. Those undersized linebackers, other than Cushing, are having trouble getting off blocks right now. But I do like Matt Schaub's ability to come back, Chris, and I'll tell you why. The offensive line is keeping him clean. Has not gotten hit a lot other than the 2 coverage sacks by Michael Brockman.
He comes out throwing, and Andre Johnson has it, puts a move on, but cannot get away from Tremaine Johnson. He does have a first down in Ram territory. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, Coach Jeff Fisher credits the Rams' fast start to that run game Timmy was talking about, as well as holding the Texans to field goals, not touchdowns, and capitalizing on their penalties. The adjustment to watch for this half, he knows he has to change the coverage on Arian Foster. Meanwhile, Coach Gary Kubiak very proud of the job Matt Schaub is doing. He says he's doing a fabulous job moving the ball. Now they need to get touchdowns. Chris?
All right, thanks, Jen. After a gain of 11, still no pass attempts to the tight end. Schaub is on the move and throws low and incomplete for Johnson. Jolon Dunbar from his linebacker spot putting pressure on Schaub.
You know, that's one area St. Louis has changed this year when you look at their defense. And they're down in a lot of numbers defensively. It's really dialing up the pressures and the pressure packages. And I think a good portion of that went out the door when Greg Williams left. We all know how aggressive he is as a defensive-minded guy. Not a lot of pressure this season for the Rams. They decided to dial one up there and got some good heat on Schaub.
On second down, Foster knocked down by Michael Brockers. Foster good for 145 total yards when you talk about carrying the football, and he has a couple of receptions as well.
This is clinic defensive tackle play right here by Michael Brockers on the left guard. Watch him lock out the arms. Now disengage, fall back inside. See that the running back is reading the defensive tackle in that play. That was perfect by Brockers.
On 3rd down and 10, it'll be 4th down. Stopped at the 45-yard line. Garrett Graham's first catch of this game, and the first to a tight end. James Laurinaitis, who had the fumble recovery and 43-yard return to change the early momentum against Schaub and the Texans.
I don't know if we can reiterate enough how critical this game is for the Houston Texans, Chris. You look at their schedule. They go to Kansas City. They got Indianapolis in a couple of weeks. I mean, 4 of their last 6 to end the season are in division, but they got to get some wins now so they have an opportunity.
Leckler's punt. Austin waving everybody away and takes a bounce and rolls into the end zone. A bad break for the Texans. Rams will get it at the 20, and the body language not good from Matt Schaub.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Zach Stacy, the running back, on 1st and 10 from the 20. First possession of the second half for the Rams. And Bradford gets out of trouble, unloads to Stacy, who gets 5.5 yards out of it. Moments ago, they hadn't talked a lot today on the sideline. Head coach Gary Kubiak with Matt Schaub. And Tim mentioned the tough schedule for the Texans. The Rams fall in that category too. That's the NFL overall remaining win percentage. And both of these teams don't have a lot of room to make a mistake.
And both with good teams in their divisions, obviously. Indianapolis, what they're doing. Tennessee's a surprise team, and we all know about the NFC West.
On 2nd and 5, Stacy is going nowhere. He tried to get away from one, but here came Watt and Cushing.
Well, Watt wrecks it. Brian Cushing cleans it up. And this is really the first time we've called the name of J.J. Watt in this game. And he's lined up here at left. He's going to slam across the face of Joe Barksdale. He's going to force this running game to reroute. Gets a hit right there on Zach Stacy. And then there's Cushing and Danielle Manning to clean it up.
Texans defense only has 3 takeaways all season long on 3rd and 6. Pressure picked up. Bradford's throw is caught by Jared Cook for a first down, just short of the 35-yard line. Let's check it again with Joel Klatt for a game break.
All right, thank you, Chris. Aaron Rodgers led the pack down right before half. They missed a field goal. Ensuing drive, Joe Flacco stripped by Nick Perry. Dayton Jones recovers it, gets down before the half. They would end up getting that field goal, and they're up 6-0 in Baltimore.
Thanks, Joel. And without Clay Matthews, that Packer defense holding up okay against Flacco and the Ravens. Zach Stacy on first down. Zach Stacy has another Ram first down.
Terrific patience by the rookie 5th-round pick. I mean, he just let that block by Lance Kendricks set up in front of him. And Chris, he saw which way the tight end was taking the defender. Here's Kendricks here on Merciless. And watch Zach Stacy read this block. He's going to play it. Okay, now he's going to take it outside. I'll take it back up inside and gets the first down. Impressive kid.
68 yards rushing, averaging over 5 a carry. Daniel Manning checks out in the secondary. Shiloh Kao is in for the Texans. A first down for the Rams. Bradford's throw hit Brian Quick in the back. It's incomplete. Obvious mix-up there.
Brian Quick thought it was a run. And wondering if Sam changed that play at the line of scrimmage as he saw that safety rolling up into the box. See, Houston started with 2 deep. Then the other safety comes up. Sam dials up the quick pass out to the perimeter. Quick never knew it was coming. Hit him right on the back.
One of the differences in this game as well is obviously penalties, but Rams have not turned it over. Texans lost a first half fumble, and the Rams successful in the red zone, and the Texans have not been. Bradford with time in the pocket, and open is Pettis. He gets to the 40 for a Ram first down.
They have done a nice job of keeping Sam Bradford clean in this football game. You know, you look at Houston coming in and 14 sacks, but 1 sack every 9 pass attempts on quarterbacks. 14 attempts today, no sacks on Sam Bradford. And I think part of that tight end game, helping to stay in and protect, has been a nice asset for the Rams.
Yeah, that was Pettis' first catch of the game. Bradford has sprayed the ball around 8 different receivers so far. On first down, Zach Stacy gets knocked back and will lose a couple of yards. Brian Cushing and firing in there. But this is the kind of game the Rams can play when they have an 11-point lead.
And the kind of game they can play and when they believe in their run game. Jeff Fisher told us yesterday, oh, Jake Long liked it last week. We dialed up 36 runs. I don't care who the offensive linemen, they all love run blocking more than pass protecting.
Lance Kendrick said, I thought I was playing in the Big Ten last week, the way we were blocking. And the tight end formation, the multiple 68% of the time they had multiple tight ends. On 2nd and 11, Bradford to throw. Pressure coming, but the pass on target. That's the tight end Cook. Bradford got nailed, but hung in there to deliver.
You know why he was the Heisman Trophy winner? You know why he was the #1 overall pick in the draft? Because he has got wicked good skill sets in this rapid-fire release. Brooks Reed is bearing down on him, and look at how fast that ball is cocked and comes out with accuracy. I mean, those are skill sets you're born with, and Sam Bradford's got them, and that's why he was selected so high. This is a nice start to his 4th season.
And Jared Cook, after 141 yards in game 1 and 2 touchdowns, hadn't done much. That's a 34-yard catch and carry.
Houston's got to bow their neck down here now. They've been bad in the red zone.
On 1st and goal, it's Stacy. He gets inside the 5-yard line. Sam Bradford sat with us when discussing the identity of this offense and said, you know, he loves the up-tempo, hurry-up kind of thing he played in college, but to control the ball and control the clock is what they were aiming for.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, when you start talking about the up-tempo and all that stuff, and I think Schottenheimer knows it as well, the offensive coordinators, they're good today, but their defense really hasn't been good enough to go out there and run a no-huddle. Got to have a great defense to do that consistently.
Zach Stacy, the back, from the 4. Brian Quick, touchdown Rams. Sam Bradford, 3 touchdown passes today. And frustration for Wade Phillips and the Texan defense.
Well, Jeff Fisher told us yesterday, oh, Quickie's coming on, as he liked to call him, Brian Quick. It's that big body, Chris. I mean, he's 6'3". You got 5-yard cushion. He's going to run the slant right to the inside. Pinpoint accuracy right at the top of the numbers by Sam Bradford.
Already 13 touchdown passes for Sam Bradford. Here in the 6th game of the season, only 3 interceptions. First time he got one to a wide receiver today. And the Rams with a 24-6 lead. That's how it feels on the other sideline when you're behind at home. Backup quarterback Kellen Clemens complimenting the work of the guy in front of him, Sam Bradford. Already 13 touchdown tosses and 3 in one game, equaling his career high.
Yeah, and think about this number for Sam Bradford. If he plays well and a quarterback rating over 100, I don't know what it is now, but I bet it is. They're 7-1-1, the St. Louis Rams.
He is over 100. Keyshawn Martin for his first return today. And the ball is knocked out and the Rams have it. Darian Bates. Bates with a touchdown for the Rams on the fumble by Martin.
I think Rodney McLeod is the guy that knocks it out, number 23, as he goes flying in there and just rips at the football and right into the hands of the other defender, Darren Bates, and he just walks into the end zone. What a sellout play by Rodney McLeod.
Bates, the rookie from Auburn, and the special teams of the Rams have been under fire for penalties and problems, but
I don't even think you bring that out if you're Keyshawn Martin deep in your own end zone.
That was his first return of the day. And the Rams have this under control. Zerline with the extra point, and it's 31-6. That's obviously for the rookie Darren Bates, his first career touchdown. He was alert enough to grab it out of the air after McLeod knocked it loose.
Today's game is sponsored by Ford. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
Brian Cushing and the Texans don't know what to make of this. Another turnover, quick points for the Rams, and a 25-point deficit for the home team. And Keyshawn Martin, who lost the football, is going to bring it out again. Zerline runs him out of bounds across the 31-yard line. Tonight, Game 2 of the American League Championship Series from Fenway Park. David Ortiz and the Red Sox try and even the score against Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. It's Game 2 tonight following football on Fox.
Big day up in Boston, right?
Patriots at home against the undefeated Saints.
How about that game?
Fans frustrated here. The Texans trailed San Diego 28-7 in the third quarter earlier this year. Came back to win that game. Schaub.
Hold it!
Incomplete.
Boy, when Matt Schaub has to move his feet, he is a complete 180 in terms of his effectiveness, and the fans are letting him have it.
This is the loudest booing we've heard today. And maybe not just directed at Schaub, because this has been a team implosion. Hopkins loses a fumble early. Keyshawn Martin loses a fumble moments ago.
And here's your hope. Week 1 down so far down against the San Diego Chargers, and on the arm of Matt Schaub, he brought him back and they won that game. What you're hoping for.
Andre Johnson has a first down at the 44-yard line.
This is what I'm talking about with Matt Schaub. When they protect him and it's all clean and it's on schedule, I mean, he's just going to put his foot in the ground and the ball comes out. Good decision, good accuracy. He could almost do it in his sleep. And a couple of good examples here of him getting to the back spot of his drop, letting it go, very accurate. And now when he's got to start moving his feet, he's, as I like to say, get off his spot, completely different quarterback.
Are you calling him a system quarterback?
I call him a great manager of the game.
Most quarterbacks take a bit of offense to that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Peyton Manning's a great manager of the game. He manages the offense. And that's the thing now with Matt Schaub is, I think in today's game with all this speed and all these pass rushers and these spread sets, Chris, if you don't get it out right away, you've got to be able to run and elude some of that pressure and extend plays.
Arian Foster. Looks like he's short of the first down and stays in bounds as the clock runs. You know, Schaub there was a disturbance at his house in the neighborhood, not a gated community. He's had fans come by before, but security was called. He has 3 daughters, concerned for, he says, I'm at work all day. I just want to make sure everybody's okay. But he did say that when times are tough, and mentally this is the toughest stretch in his 10-year career, he leans on his wife and his folks to help him through it.
Shame on the people that are giving him a hard time.
Foster has a first down for the Texans inside the 40.
You know what I mean? And making it personal. Matt Schaub is trying as hard as he can and doing the best he can. Yeah, at times it's not been good enough. Excuse me. Lay off.
Yeah, I don't know, and I wouldn't call them fans. Those are people who are out of control, and hopefully justice will be brought to those who have crossed the line. But he says he has no plans on moving. Enjoys where he lives. Pass complete. Andre Johnson inside the 35. I'm surprised that the Texans, although they moved the ball early and couldn't get it in the end zone, just with Cortland Finnegan out and that young secondary of the Rams, that they were not able to take more of an advantage in the first half.
Well, it was going so good for them on the ground. I mean, they were shredding St. Louis on the ground, and then they'd get in position and shoot themselves in the foot with a penalty or a turnover.
Foster waiting, and first down inside the 30. James Laurinaitis right at the marker. Let's see where they spot it. Oh, that's a bad spot. So it's not going to be a first down. It's third. We'll Call it a yard. Our yellow line.
Ooh, that is close.
Superimposed.
That is really, really close. That is a bad spot. You're right. Just Marion Foster looked like when he fell down, that ball was right on the line to gain.
Foster first down. And from behind, almost like a tomahawk, William Hayes tackle. Foster 127 yards rushing.
You talk about getting skinny through the hole. I mean, there was such a little crack there. St. Louis had a pretty well defended with their defensive line and linebackers. Foster found a crack and, they like to say, got skinny and picked up extra yards.
Ben Tate is in from the 23. Shot goes down. Chris Long. And the ball is out. The play is blown. Looks like it has been blown dead for a sack, but no fumble. And Schaub is reaching for that right ankle, lower leg area.
It just looked like the way Chris Long came down on him. Didn't look right. Matt Schaub now didn't want to unload that ball. He thought that Ogletree or Laurinaitis was going to pick it off, held on to it, and ended up, looks like, getting hurt.
Schaub out with the injury on 2nd and 16. T.J. Yates comes in at quarterback. Underneath, behind, but caught by Foster. Knocked out at the 25-yard line.
And unless Matt Schaub is the rubber band man, I'll be surprised if he gets back in this game as Chris Long falls on his right ankle, and it is nasty, Chris. As you watch the right ankle here, you're going to see Chris Long fall on it there, and it bends. But watch as you continue on, and look at that ankle and what position it's in right there. That's nasty.
Yates got to play in the 49er game in relief of Schaub. On 3rd and 12. Pass on target to Foster. Going to be short of the first down. Schaub being checked out by the medical staff.
I think Gary Kubiak's going for it here.
On 4th down.
Yeah.
It looks like Ben Tate's checking in.
Down 25 points with 17 and a half minutes to go here.
And it's a knee and ankle that the medical staff is checking on Schaub. Yates capable of running, more athletic. On 4th and 5. And we're going to have a timeout. Texans, that is the
timeout
first.
Houston. They're first.
2 remaining for Gary Kubiak, who hesitated this week whether to start Schaub. Yates would have been the guy he was going to go to. Now injury as Yates in the game as the Rams have the lead in Houston. On 4th down and 5. T.J. Yates throws, and there's a flag, incomplete.
I think they're going to get Chris Long offsides.
Ogletree tipped the ball.
Yeah. I think Chris Long rolled right off the ball pre-snap.
Offside, number 91 defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Long had his first sack of the game, second of the season moments ago, knocking Schaub out of the game.
Boy, that is just a killer. Just a fraction early. A 4th down offside gives him a first down on the 11 or 12-yard line or 13-yard line. Big error.
So now from the 13-yard line, the Texans with new life, trailing by 25. Foster gets inside the 10-yard line. Yates in his 3rd year from North Carolina, a 5th-round draft pick coming in relief of Schaub.
Well, and played well. And remember, I mean, they got into the playoffs, Cincinnati, and then went up to Baltimore. And the team played well. They ran the ball good, but I want to say it was 3 interceptions in that playoff game against the Ravens that really derailed this Houston team.
His rookie year, he had 5 starts when Schaub was hurt. He had the foot injury there. Yates. Incomplete for Greg Jones. And they're working on the ankle of Matt Schaub.
I'll tell you, if he gets back out on the game from what we saw and how that ankle was contorted and moved around, he deserves a lot of credit in the toughness category.
3rd and 6. Texans went for it on 4th and 5, so they've got 2 downs to do something with this.
Chris, he can't move with 2 legs. Imagine 1 for Matt Schaub.
I don't know that it would be wise to put him back in this game. Underneath, and that's Posey, who somehow held on, but is short of the first down. Rodney McLeod was right there with him.
Oh, you went for it last time. You got to go for it again here.
It was a penalty that helped Kubiak. Chris Long offside, gave him the first down. Now it's 4th and 3. Under a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter. The Rams have busted it wide open and knocked Schaub out of the game.
Double this guy, Garrett Graham, and make Yates make a great throw to the outside.
Yates, it's intercepted. Going the other way is Alec Ogletree. I think he's going to score. Touchdown Rams. "98 yards for the rookie linebacker from Georgia."
Well, they doubled him, and that right there is a predictable tendency down in the red zone for this offense, whether it be Matt Schaub or T.J. Yates, throwing to the tight end on what they call a yogi route, the tight end being a wide position, just running a choice out route, and they doubled him, and watch Alex Ogletree jump right in front of the route and take this thing back 99 yards.
98 yards. 99 is the Ram record held by Johnny Johnson when he did it against the Packers back in 1980. But the rookie making his mark and giving the Rams a 38-6 advantage.
Now the Rams certainly played the predictable tendency right there, going to the tight end, had 2 over Garrett Graham. That wasn't even close.
Well, fans were upset with Matt Schaub, who had thrown a pick-6 in 4 consecutive games, an NFL record. He's injured. The guy who comes in for him, T.J. Yates, throws an interception return, 98 yards for a touchdown.
And the Rams are all over this. I mean, Yates never takes his eyes off the tight end. This is a tendency and a behavior that Houston is stuck with for a long time, certainly this year. And Alec Ogletree, the rookie right there, was all over it. And they laid the bait down, and T.J. Yates took it.
First career touchdown for Ogletree. Zerline kicking off. Keyshawn Martin bringing it out again. Stopped short of the 20-yard line. Well, it's bigger than just a Matt Schaub injury and maybe going to 2-4 for the Texans. I mean, this was a team Super Bowl talk prior to the year after winning playoff games, the division the last couple of years. This changes things dramatically.
Well, they're not very good. I mean, that's obvious. They've been able to run the ball today. But Gary Kubiak, Chris, has got to be a better play caller and be a step ahead. I mean, how about, and I got a lot of respect for Coach Kubiak, but how about you get down here? I knew they were going with the ball. How about calling a different play where the tight end's not the primary receiver?
One of 7 head coaches who calls his plays offensively currently in the NFL. There's a flag down. In the first half, it was penalties hurting the Texans.
Before the flag for 12 players on defense, timeout St. Louis, their first 30-second timeout.
Both the Rams and the Texans will have 2 timeouts remaining. And the Rams, when you think about, they won their opener against Arizona, but then gave up more than 30 points to Atlanta, Dallas, and San Francisco, all losses, before Jeff Fisher came back, pulled his little stunt, said it's a new season. They won against Jacksonville at home and an important game on the road, and it increases their chances. And you've talked about who they're chasing in the division. But to get to the playoffs, obviously the Seahawks, the 49ers, and teams they'll have games against down the road.
What a nice job Jeff has done here. Very young football team. I remember going into last season, Chris, for 5 years, they won 15 games. And then 7-8-1 last year. I think they really gained confidence in the game we did when they tied San Francisco.
Foster carries. Let's get a game break and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Nick Foles' second touchdown pass of the day, a beautiful strike to Riley Cooper. 47 yards on the score, put the Eagles on top of the Buccaneers 21-17 as they get late in the third quarter. Chris and Tim.
All right, thanks, Kurt. It's been all Rams as the Texans have T.J. Yates letting the quarter run out. We're going to the fourth quarter in Houston. The Rams on their way to 3-3. Texans with the football at 2nd down 6. They can only look on as the Rams have taken control. T.J. Yates from the pocket hits Andre Johnson for a first down at the 38-yard line. It's not all about numbers. Statistics can be misleading when you look at the yardage in this game.
Well, think about this. And the Rams don't even have 200 yards of offense in this game. And looking at the scoreboard there, they got 38 points. Houston has got 340 yards of offense. They've got 6 points. Not about the statistical numbers always.
Arian Foster has done his part. Foster with 135 yards rushing. Over 50 yards in receptions. This Texan team, you can understand why they're testy. They have too much talent to be losing 4 straight games.
And they haven't lost 4 straight since 2010.
Schaub.
I'll be surprised if he gets back in this game. Down as far as they're down, 32 points. The way that ankle looked when he rolled it up.
I'm sure he'd like to get back in, but that's Kubiak's call, and Yates' throw is called in by Derek Graham. There's a flag down back inside the 30.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 93 defense to the head of the quarterback. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
Jermel Cujo called for the penalty.
That's 2 errors by Cujo today. He had the one where he hit the receiver on the ground. And then that one, I mean, it's late as Yates is on his way down, but it looked like he put the top of his helmet right on the chin of T.J. Yates.
The Rams have sacked the Texan quarterbacks 3 times. Bradford has not been sacked in this game. They go with his 3 touchdown tosses. Houston trying to find something positive with Yates running the show. On first down, Johnson inside the 15. And it's another Houston first down.
Now, that was a nice throw. I mean, he scissored that right in between the corner and the outside linebacker. Grabbing his elbow there. That was good ball location.
Pickup of 12.
When you watch, I mean, he's going to throw it right inside that outside linebacker. You see Dunbar trying to get in the throwing lane. Well done.
Yates is going to keep it. A busted play. He looked like he wanted to throw it to Andre Johnson, who wasn't ready for it.
I don't know why you just don't throw it. I don't know if Andre wasn't ready or he looked out there and saw Janoris Jenkins, that being Yates, but it did not look like Jenkins was in position to jump that route and pick it off. I think down in this area of the field, maybe Yates just ultra conservative, not wanting to turn the football over.
Well, at this point, Andre Johnson,
let it go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 7 catches for Johnson, 88 yards. He's at the top of your screen. He leads all receivers. Hopkins in motion. Yates has a lot of room to run. It's intercepted on the run. Janoris Jenkins has it in the end zone and is bringing it out. And foolishly tackled out at the 2-yard line. But another giveaway by the Texans.
And that was a gift. That is an awful, awful decision by T.J. Yates to even unload that ball. I mean, Janoris Jenkins was sitting right in front of him. That had no chance of getting squeezed in there by the quarterback. I don't care how good the throw was.
He had room to run, but he opted to throw it. And instead, Another interception here by the Rams. They have things well under control in Houston.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by Pizza Hut. Prep for game day by ordering online from Pizza Hut. Make it great.
The Rams 4 takeaways. Zach Stacy carries. They have 2 interceptions. They have 2 fumbles. They also have 4 sacks. And TJ Yates, 6 out of 9. He's thrown 2 picks. And when you said at the top of the show the benching possibility of Matt Schaub, who left injured, you said, why would you do that? Where do you go to?
Yeah, look, this league is not about the plays. It's about the players. And I'm a firm believer, unless you've got real talent to replace the talent you're taking off the field, you don't do it. And I'm still not convinced that Yates or Keenan, who's inactive today, are talented enough to replace Matt Schaub.
Case Keenum, the 3rd quarterback, who is from Houston, is inactive. His name was bandied about.
Illegal snap. Number 63 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Tell you, they've done a pretty good job, though, St. Louis, in neutralizing J.J. Watt for the most part in this game. Now, they've only attempted 16 passes, but they've been able to run the ball with success. And I think the thing about J.J. Watt, why I say he's the best player in the NFL on the defensive line, is that Chris, he's equally good, both as a pass rusher and a run defender. Harvey Dahl and the guys have gotten after him a little bit today.
Well, the Rams came in averaging only 3 yards a carry on the ground in the first 5 games. They've averaged better than 4 today. And that'll get you enough as Zach Stacy carries once again. Let's check in down on the field with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Chris, Matt Schaub is not giving up on this game. He is desperate to come back. He's gone back to the training table 3 different times for more tape, and he has not sat down since. He's pacing the sidelines, working that ankle, helmet in hand, trying to get back in this thing. Fans have actually cheered him a couple times, which is ironic because they were throwing ice just before his injury, much to the displeasure of Brian Cushing and Arian Foster, Chris.
Yeah, some of the Texan players who rallied around Schaub during the week, frustrated by not only some of the results, but some of the reaction to Schaub. Stacy carries, fights off the tackle to maybe pick up a yard or 2.
J.J. Watt was in the backfield that time. I mean, he came on an inside rush stunt, and Stacy just made him miss like he's done a couple of times today. Very rarely does J.J. Watt get in the backfield and not finish on the ball carrier. We've seen it a few times today.
Johnny Hecker will come in for the Rams to punt the football. Only his 2nd punt of the game. Shiloh Ko back to return.
Well, if I'm Gary Kubiak, I protect Matt Schaub from Matt Schaub in the way that ankle looked. Yeah, he got rolled up.
The fact that he's upstanding, it obviously isn't as serious as at first look. You saw them tape it, but there's no need for him to come back into this game. Ko has it and knocked down at the 48-yard line of the Rams. Remember, statistically, the Texans had the #1 defense coming into this game, even #1 against the pass. Yeah, there's been turnovers, but the Rams have tore them up. Let's hope they don't start asking for Dan Pastorini. It's TJ Yates from the 47 and gives to Foster, who gets down to the 41. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee for a game break.
Well, the Packers lost both James Jones and Randall Cobb to knee injuries, but just how deep are they? This is Jordy Nelson, wide open, 64 yards from Aaron Rodgers. First touchdown of the game, they lead at 16-3 in Baltimore. Chris and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. And interesting in that division, with Detroit losing at Cleveland and the Vikings losing at home, should help the Packers. That's Foster carries. Well, Tim, if your owner Bob McNair, he's a passionate guy who's done a lot of what he could do and been very patient with Gary Kubiak in trying to get this organization to the Super Bowl. You were embarrassed on Sunday night on the road, and there is Bob McNair with San Francisco. Your coach makes the decision to stay with your quarterback, and now at home, the wheels come off. Where do you turn next?
Well, it's a bottom line business, right? It's about wins and losses. I will not be calling for the head of Gary Kubiak in week 6. There's a lot of football left to be played. But
do you see enough here for this team, this franchise, to turn it around?
Well, the point is that window of opportunity is slamming fast when you look at the age of your quarterback, the age of your #1 wide receiver. He's going to have to do a lot of hard thinking and make some hard decisions here when they get to the offseason.
Wonder about the general manager, Rick Smith. You know that Gary Kubiak and Matt Schaub have been connected over the years and have had a lot of success taking the Texans further into the playoffs, steps forward each way. But you were just telling me in the break, I mean, we're a little bit shocked at these results. Not disrespect with the Rams.
It's amazing how fast you can go straight south downhill in a hurry. They're going for another 4th down here.
Yates completes and fighting to get the first. There's a flag down. Lestard Jean was fighting for the first down. The flag is back.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 97 defense, hitting the quarterback in the head on the ground. 15-yard penalty, first down.
We've had a few of those from the Rams. That's on Eugene Sims. And it will set the Texans up. Still looking for their first touchdown today.
Look, and you're going to see what it looks like, and it's Eugene Sims out there at defensive tackle, right defensive tackle, elbow to the chin, right there. Well, some of the things that used to happen to these quarterbacks 15, 20 years ago versus that, incredible.
Yates is 6'4", 220 pounds, so he can handle the pounding. From the 21, that's Ben Tate. Here comes a flag from behind the quarterback. Texans started out with a couple of tough wins. San Diego and Tennessee in overtime.
I would say they've been behind in every game
use
this
of the
year.
hands to the face, number 97 defense, 5-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
All right, so that's why Sims, another penalty on him, time to go to the bench.
I got to yell at you for a little while.
But on their way to their 4th straight defeat are the Texans, and the Rams winning on the road after last week. Jeff Fisher's team put it together at home against Jacksonville. From the 14, Texans with a first down after the penalty. Tate knocked down. The red zone miscues have been the story for Houston. As you said, they moved the ball, but the turnover starting with the Hopkins fumble when they were inside the 15 and the Keyshawn Martin return, fumbled into the air.
Yeah, the 3 turnovers in scoring position. This interception that goes all the way back for a touchdown. This interception in the end zone in scoring position. You talked about the fumble by DeAndre Hopkins in scoring position, and then the 4th one with Keyshawn Martin, he's back on his own goal line. And look, if you're Gary Kubiak, I mean, they got good players, they can move the ball, they can stop people, they got good statistics. I mean, the players have got to start cleaning up their game. It's that simple.
Yates incomplete. Chris Longo, he got his arms up and tipped that ball away. And Schaub headed to the locker room. There is a flag down.
Offside, number 94 defense, 5-yard penalty, repeats second down.
He's getting sloppy for St. Louis here at the end of this game.
Rams have 7 penalties trying to catch up to the Texans, who have 8 total, but they had 7. Did Houston in the first half. And I know Jeff Fisher has been upset about the penalties on special teams for his squad. They were flying in yesterday from St. Louis, and because of storms in the area, had to circle and wait, had a bumpy ride. Ben Tate carries, and the Ram players said they got through the delay and the turbulence by watching the Cardinals go up 2 games to none on the Dodgers in the NLCS. In fact, Jeff Fisher, who grew up a Dodger fan in Southern California, now a Cardinal fan, texting Mike Matheny prior to the postseason, wishing him luck, and Matheny did the same for this Ram team. Now 3rd and 1. Ben Tate It'll be 4th down. Kendall Langford and Darian Stewart keeping Tate from getting the first down.
Tell you, getting Jolon Dunbar back in the lineup, I think, is important for these St. Louis Rams. And Rusty last week, Chris, against Jacksonville. Today, obviously, there's been some big holes. Houston was able to run the ball with a lot of success in the first half. But that guy right there, Jolon Dunbar, is an upgrade over Will Witherspoon. He is a very good player.
Witherspoon at 33 years old, the oldest member on this Ram team. On 4th down and 1 for Yates, it's been Tate who has a first down and goal for Houston. Under 5 minutes to go. The Texans almost 400 yards of offense. Given away 100 on penalties and given the football up 4 times.
And you looked at this matchup, at least I did coming in, and thought, what a great matchup for Houston. If they can run the ball against that beat-up secondary.
Ben Tate to the goal line. Kendall Langford on the stop. Well, you know, they did run the ball. Foster over 140 yards.
That's right. And they ran it with a bunch of success. But once again, as Kubiak has said it all year, we don't recognize ourselves with the penalties and the turnovers.
And Schaub did not throw an interception. 15 out of 21. He did not throw a touchdown pass either, obviously, with the score. But Foster has played hard for this team today, as he has throughout the season.
And he's told us the other day they are not in panic mode at this point. Wonder if they are now.
Ben Tate carries. It'll be 3rd and goal. Ram defense digging in with a little pride there. You know, you be an old defensive lineman yourself. You don't want any cheap touchdowns given up late.
Yeah, low man wins, baby. Let's watch here, because from up here, it looked like old Tate had surged in. Hard to see with all those bodies. And right there, Dunbar pushes him back.
Here comes a challenge, Tim. I think we're...
Yeah, this is... I mean, is there visual evidence to overturn this thing? There's Tate's helmet. You can see his whole body's across, but I can't find the football if the football's across.
Houston is challenged.
Ruled no score, but being challenged.
Today's game is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Tim, let's take a look. It's ruled no score on the field, challenged by Gary Kubiak and the Texans.
Yeah, and hard to see where the ball is there. It certainly looked like Tate had surged in before his knees went to the ground. It's really the other angle.
Field stands.
Yeah, no visual evidence to turn it over. There was one angle from the backside where
Houston will be charged their second timeout.
Where it did look like the ball was over the goal line. As you look at Tate here, smashing it up inside. Just look for that pink sleeve, that elbow sleeve right there. And you see where the ball is, but visual evidence. And replay had that angle. That one to me looked like that ball was over the plane of the goal line.
Lose the challenge, lose the timeout. They're losing the game, but the Texans have a chance to get in the end zone on 3rd and goal. Handoff, Tate.
Touchdown! I don't want to give that one to him either.
There, finally. There we go. Touchdown, Texans. I heard somebody yell it, but it wasn't a referee.
I'll tell you, Chris Myers has done a nice job opening holes with those 2 big monster defensive tackles of the St. Louis Rams.
The Pro
Myers
Bowl,
had a nice game.
Pro Bowl center, 2 times to the Pro Bowl. He's been an Iron Man at center. You know, his grandfather, Tom Kelleher, a longtime NFL referee. Maybe you should have him come visit these Texans to go over some of the tough penalties they suffered in the first half. 3:15 to play in the 4th quarter. The Texans finally get into the end zone. Bullock ready to kick off. Do you bother with an onside kick?
I don't. I don't even want to get anybody hurt. It is a 4-score game here, down 25 with a little over 3 minutes to go.
You see the percentages, something teams work on, but in games, very rare that it's effective. Tavon Austin just falls down at the 10-yard line. Fox tomorrow, it's everybody's new favorite drama. Sleepy Hollow has critics raving unlike anything else on television. When a mysterious child is found from another era, does he carry a deadly secret? See why everyone is hopelessly hooked on Sleepy Hollow. It's all new tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on Fox. That touchdown scored by the Texans was their first touchdown since week 4 in the second quarter at the 6-11 mark against Seattle.
Shocked at the demise of this team here this year, really.
And impressed with the Rams. After they were embarrassed on a Thursday night broadcast, rookie Benny Cunningham from Middle Tennessee, a free agent, comes in to carry the football. Back-to-back victories, they'll get to 3-3, and for Jeff Fisher, they go on the road at Carolina and then home against the Seahawks and his old team, the Titans. We have a timeout called by the Texans. That is their final timeout. Let's get a game break. Another update with Kurt Menefee.
Well, Green Bay scored the first touchdown of this game on the last possession. Baltimore answered quickly. 11-yard score. Flacco to Jacoby Jones, who missed the last 4 weeks with a knee injury. That makes it 16-10 early in the fourth quarter. Chris and Tim, when your game is done, your audience will be taken to the conclusion of that.
Thanks, Kurt, and that'll be fun to watch. The defending Super Bowl champs, obviously Aaron Rodgers, the Packers dealing with injuries. But how about the way that Sam Bradford has played? Tim, you talked to him about having to throw 40 times a game on average. He's put it up only 16 today.
Yeah, he talked about growing pains, trying to find their identity. I think they found it. And that's with the heavy tight end sets, running the ball.
Number 88, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Getting the play action to work off of it, throwing to the tight ends. I love the fact he took a couple of deep shots today, did Sam Bradford. That's 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in the last 2 games. And as a matter of fact, what I love about it is Jeff Fisher was telling me last night, or telling all of us, that as good as Sam was last week against Jacksonville, and with Schottenheimer dialing up those plays and Sam executing, he said he was agitated after the game because he knows he left some big plays out there.
Cunningham carries again. Sam Bradford in his 4th year, first Native American to win the Heisman Trophy, and his blazing start continues for him personally as a pro with 13 touchdown passes and only 3 interceptions.
I knew this guy had it when he said he started on varsity basketball in high school as a sophomore, playing 2-guard, crossover dribbled somebody and just rip dunked right in the face of a senior center. I said, Sam Bradford's got a little something to him.
Well, in the core of this team with Bradford, and you talk about the young running backs they have, guys like Brian Quick and Austin Pettis and Jared Cook. The offensive line does its part. This is tough running from Cunningham.
Well, I think they found their back also. I mean, Harvey Dahl and all the guys have done a very good job on J.J. Watt today, but Zach Stacy, that 5th-round pick, he's been his own best blocker a few times today, breaking tackles at the line of scrimmage.
We have reached the 2-minute warning here in Houston, where the Rams have come to town and built a 38-13 lead. Coming up, the Pepsi Game Break Show with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. All the scores and highlights from around the league. The Fox Sports ticker as well, with statistics and bonus coverage of the Packers and Ravens. And later, the Saints and Patriots, a doubleheader day on Fox. Right at the 39-yard line, the Texans will take over. We mentioned the Rams' schedule.
Brutal.
Well, but they get some players back healthy that they have kind of worked through their injuries. Saffold on the offensive line.
That's a great point. And Finnegan on defense, who's probably their best and most versatile corner, jumping in on the slot and the nickel stuff. And Carolina smashed Minnesota today. You can't figure out that Carolina team. You know what you're getting with Seattle. It's a smash mouth fist fight. Tennessee's an improved team. Indianapolis, quietly one of the better teams in the AFC. We get the opportunity to do that game. It's a tough schedule. Couple that with the NFC West for the St. Louis Rams.
Ben Tate. And for the Texans, who are now 2-4, they go to Kansas City. The Chiefs right now still undefeated and leading against the Raiders at home, that bye. But They still get the Colts twice, who lead the division. They've already beaten Tennessee in the division, and they'll get the Titans one more time. So if they can get it right and end the 4-game losing skid, as you said, the 6-week mark is too early to fold the tents.
Absolutely, and Gary Kubiak knows that. And they've got to fix themselves, though, for sure, with all of their self-destructive wounds in the penalties and the turnovers. Chris, 4 of their last 6 are in the division. It'll be there for them, but they got to win some games so they don't get too far behind in terms of the record against teams like the Indianapolis Colts.
When we opened the broadcast, we talked about the Rams searching for their identity, and the Texans maybe having lost theirs on offense. They have to get it back, whether it's with Schaub or somebody else. Owen Daniels out of this game and out for the next 7 weeks.
It's got to be Schaub. I mean, it's got to be Schaub, with the exception of that ankle, if he's not ready to go. I mean, they'll get some MRIs and some x-rays on that. It looked bad.
This is a Mike Burks production, directed by Michael Frank. Scott Katz helping out. Bill Cullen in the truck as well, as that pass is almost intercepted. Our thanks in the booth to Emmett McGuire and James Petralka. Computer graphics with Mark Sosna.
Saz with the mustache too.
Our entire, always smiling, always upbeat. Our production group on the road every week that tries to bring us the best no matter what. There's some of the guys and gals who help us out, and a lot more videotape and our camera crews around the stadium. Pass is caught just at the 30. And you sit, you talk to players, and you review the video, and you just never know on Sunday what kind of game you're going to get.
It is high drama, this league, each and every Sunday. You can't call them anymore. You got to sit and wait and react.
Ball's out as Yates gets hammered. Looks like the Texans are on top of it, and that pretty much describes the day for the Texans. The Rams with a 38-13 blistering on the 5th sack of the game as Sam Bradford and Jeff Fisher go to 3-3. For Tim Ryan, I'm Chris Myers. Let's head to Kurt Menefee.